All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Welcome to HJP Town Hall Part 3. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. As Avi mentioned, we are in the mess hall over at Kraken's Call. Someone can leave directions for where our FC house is in the chat. If you would like to join us here, today's a day. But yeah, so I will be recording. We'll figure out the voice chat. But the first thing that I want to start with is something like super exciting. It's this has been a work in progress, and it's been like Tin has been working really hard on this thing, and I also just want to shout all of you guys out for participating in this thing. Talk about rising to the call. So thank you guys. She has been working on a cover photo for Operation Rising Tide and debuted it to us this morning, and I'm just so excited for you guys to see it. So here we go. Ready? Here we go. Boom! Here's our new cover photo. So, Finley, he's very excited about the cover photo, as you can tell. Sorry. But yeah, so here's our cover photo. It's just incredible to see just how many people are in this photo. I know not everyone's in it, but just like how legit is this? It looks awesome. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Tin for putting this together. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. All of you guys have different skill sets and creativity and just different things to bring to the table, and just to see everyone step up in their own ways is so freaking cool. So shout out to Tin. Everyone get a real shout out when you guys get a chance. She did create this thing in multiple sizes. So she made one for like if you want to make it your phone background and stuff. And we'll make this all available to everybody after the town hall. So we'll definitely be posting it in a in a Discord channel for all of you guys to download. But I just think that this is such a great example of like, inviting every single member here to, kind of use a skill or, use your creativity to make something that represents what this community stands for and all the memories that we're having here. So thank you so much, Tin. This is so cool. I'm so excited. So I'm actually going to use it as my title slide for the rest of the presentation. So today what we're going to be doing is talking mostly about Operation Rising Tide updates. So Operation Rising Tide started out as a hunch. It was a feeling I had if you guys were here at the first town hall. But oh my God, talk about a rising tide. You guys surpassed every single expectation I had. It's like kind of crazy. It's an amazing problem to have to, just have so many events. I think we've had an event every single day with, people like several people at every single event. And if you just scroll through our Rising Tide journal just to see all the screenshots, all the messages, like it's crazy that this was always here, right? This potential was always here, but to see it come to life is just very, very exciting. So, having this data is something that, we could kind of make adjustments so that we can make sure that this initiative is successful for the duration of the 6 weeks. If you are new here, if you're watching the replay, if you don't know what Operation Rising Tide, the whole vision is really to create more opportunities for more magic for more people. What that boils down to is just more events in Final Fantasy XIV and in Discord. But, there's this vision of people are getting a lot more than just playing video games here. And I think even Tin's picture is a perfect example of inviting people to express themselves and kind of just have this opportunity for you guys to step out of your comfort zone, to try something new, experience things like empowerment and personal development. I think all of us are excited to have a place to be able to do that. And clearly all of you guys are participating. So it's so cool. It's only been a week and it's just, it's like crazy. So let's see. So thank you, right? I want to just express my gratitude. Again, this was just an idea, but seeing how all of you guys have, you know, enthusiastically answered the call is really, I mean, what else would I rather be doing? You know, like this is it. I'm so proud of it. I'm just so excited, and I hope you guys are all too. Um, so here's to more adventures. Now that we've had 1 week in the bag, I've recognized some improvements that we can make, right? Like there was only so many things that we could kind of foresee before we started the journey. And now that we've had a weekend and we've had some events, you know, in the bag, here are some things that we're going to do to kind of make this process a little bit more streamlined, um, and hopefully get more events being brought to life. So let's see. First, some improvements that we're just going to make right off the bat. First, we're going to limit weekly events to every other week. It kind of, I feel it's just a funny thing to kind of, you know, I don't want to say it's like a hard rule, but I do think it's kind of a funny problem to have, is that like we have so many events that we have to limit events to every other week. So between Mount Farm Mondays and Fishing Fridays and Sprout to Ultimate and everything else, like our calendar is just full, right? And what I really want to do is, like, say we have 100 people in the server, I really want to give, not that we need 100 events, but I want to give as many people the opportunity to lead an event, right? It's not only for the leadership aspect of it, but also to share your interest, right? To share your passion, to share the part of the game that you're excited about, that you want to talk about. J/Destiny is doing the control workshop on how to play on a controller and stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about, right? So if you have led an event, even if you're doing a every other week event, right, like Fishing Fridays, invite somebody else to maybe take the lead for the following week, right? Just so that we can get as many people involved and hear from more voices. We're also going to evolve our leadership, which I'll go into after this. But now what we're going to be doing is, once events have kind of taken shape and they're ready to be added to the calendar, we're going to have 2 new timekeepers who are going to be like processing the event requests. And I hope that we can all trust them to make the decisions if there's any kind of like, you know, if 2 events are trying to get the same spot in the calendar, let's trust their judgment and their decision that they're factoring in, you know, variety of events, time zones, all those things, so that we can, you know, make as many events happen, but then also kind of factor in all the other things, right? So instead of the way that we were doing it is just kind of take a look at the calendar and see what's available. Instead, you're going to reach out to the timekeepers. You can put in a request like, hey, we'd like Friday at 7 p.m. or whatever. But then they'll give you the final say and then add the event to the calendar. Voice chat. So is one thing I'd like for you guys to specify is Discord voice chat, whether it's required, optional, or not required, right? So you don't have to require voice chat, but for something like the Sprout to Ultimate Legend, it's really, really helpful to have everyone who's in the raid at least listening in on the voice chat, right? If you want to do optional, right? So our Blue Mage event, we had some people in the voice chat, but some people not, just they were just talking in game. Or you could do like Fishing Fridays that didn't have a voice chat component at all. That's totally fine. It's up to you guys. The only thing I ask is that you specify, right? So people know, like, do I have to turn on Discord? And then also, if you are going to do the optional route, what I would suggest is that every event should have 2 leads if you can, right? Like, I think it's just like, it's easier to have 2 leaders. We talked about this in the previous town halls, and we will help you find kind of an additional leader if you don't know anybody or can't find somebody. We'll help you figure out the second person. But especially if you're doing an optional voice chat, we can have one person kind of giving direction in the voice chat and then one person giving direction in the in-game chat, right? It could be when you're trying to do two things at once, as you can see, I'm trying to do a million things at once. It can be, and then like people are waiting on you. It can get frustrating really fast, right? And it doesn't have to be at all. So make sure to like ask for help. Everyone here wants to be here. Everyone here is, supportive and um, wants to help. So yeah. Edit your server name. So you can do this right now. And I think this is something like we should all take the time to do. So actually, I'm just going to show you how so that you can do it. If you haven't had a chance to do this yet, Discord, boom. All right, so we're in Discord here. You can just go to like a random channel, and then you're going to right click on your name here, and then you're going to click on edit server profile. And then under server nickname, right here, if you can, you want to add your Warrior of Light to your name, right? So it would be really confusing if it just said Heather and then someone named Oliver Bentley was like giving direction in the free company chat. You're like, who the heck is Oliver? Why would you associate Oliver with Heather, right? So if you get a chance, like your Discord names and your what's it called? Your Warrior of Light names are often not the same. So if you could just add that in parentheses, it would be really helpful for people who are like, oh, we're, this person RSVP'd, we're still waiting on them. As recording events, it's just going to make it a lot easier. So if you guys get a chance to do that, that would be really helpful. Let me switch back to my slides here. All right, cool. And then sorry, I want to pause really quick. Officers, if there's something in the text chat that you just want to like interrupt me, feel free. I'm not looking at it right now, so yeah. All right, make the journal entry before the event starts. So this was my bad. Sweet, thank you. This was my bad because I didn't realize it didn't give you guys permissions to actually create posts in the Rising Tide Journal forum. So now every member has permission to do that. But what I would suggest doing is that the event leaders create the journal entry before the event starts, because here's what happens. After the event is over, everyone is so excited to like talk about it, right? To share what just happened, to share their excitement with everyone else who was there, to share their screenshots. And if we wait until the next day, you kind of become a to-do list item of like, oh yeah, I need to share the screenshots in the journal, but like life is happening, and then now it's we kind of lose that window, right? So let's make the journal of entry before the event starts, and just kind of remind everybody that it is there once the event is wrapping up, to make sure like, hey, go go share your reflections and shout outs and screenshots and all of that in the journal. All right, event attendance is not an indicator of event success. So I know you guys know this, but I just wanted to kind of say it, even though most of our events that we've had so far have had incredible attendance. But I do think, like, looking at the ideas that have been pitched, I think that we are going to get more niche, and that's fine, right? I want to remind you that it's great to have 15 people in an event. Awesome. But it's also great, especially if you're having a voice chat event, to have like 4 people, because you don't have that fear of like, am I interrupting? Am I talking over someone? If as soon as we cross into 8, 9, 10 people, inevitably there are people who are just going to kind of be more, I don't know, fearful of saying something, right? It gets more and more intimidating. So, I just want to reiterate, like, one of the first events that I put on in Discord was actually a coffee hour. And the only people who were there were Bon and Eddie. And it was awesome, right? Like, it was great to be able to just hang out with the 2 of them. And there was no interrupting because it's just the 3 of us. And it's actually funny because this was back in October, I think. But when I was thinking about it today, I was like, oh, dang. I think I pitched to them the initial, like, Rising Tide event, and I didn't realize it because I was saying something like, oh, wouldn't it be cool in Discord if we had events kind of like Toastmasters? So if you don't know what Toastmasters is, it's I think it's a worldwide club for adults that the whole intention is to practice your public speaking skills. So, there could be like the Toastmasters of LA or something, and it's like a membership that you pay. But basically, it's a group that meets regularly, and then every member gives a speech, kind of like a TED talk, and then you get feedback. You could do a speech on whatever you want, and then you can give feedback uh, on somebody's public speaking skills, right? So, um, obviously that's not our that little idea has evolved into this awesomeness that is Operation Rising Tide. But it's funny because those kinds of conversations and bouncing ideas off of each other and all of that can happen when you have a smaller group of people. So especially looking at the ideas, I know Vetty mentioned like the drawing thing, which 1000% I will be there. I definitely want to do that. But the watch parties, the coffee hours, like the things that I anticipate to be a little bit more niche is the way that I'm gonna say it. Just keep that in mind. Doesn't mean that your event is bust for sure. And then also to give people 24 hours notice. So I do not expect anybody here to make HJP their number one priority. For me, that's I'm the one who takes that on. For everyone else, this is recreation. So when life happens, this is going to be the first thing to go. So, being that we are focusing on a lot of events and attendance and scheduling things, I just want everybody here to please give everyone grace to know that we all have lives, right? Like this goes for everybody. If you need to reschedule, if you need to check in on somebody's whether they're, going to be there or not or whatever it is, give 24 hours notice. We have to factor in time zones. We have to factor in all these things. And, to be actually perfectly honest, I don't have notifications turned on for Discord. I don't have notifications turned on for anything, social media, YouTube, any of it, because I made the decision that I check YouTube, YouTube doesn't check me. It has to be, I check constantly, but the act of I am actively choosing to check versus a fly in my ear, my phone's constantly buzzing, I feel like that can dip into I want to versus I have to. And when you dip into I have to territory, it can start to turn into resentment, right? And we don't want that. This is recreation, this is fun, right? So let's give people grace when we're factoring in hey, can you get back to me? And especially since I just feel like activity as a whole in the server is ramping up. And I just don't expect everyone to be constantly available. This is not a job. This is not, there's just no expectation for constant availability. I've told the officers this, but your level of participation in activity does not correlate with your dedication to the vision. Okay. It's whatever you're willing to give, whether that's 5 minutes or 5 days or whatever. You don't have to earn your place here. Okay. You don't have to prove yourself in any way. And I definitely want it to remain I don't want it to be the fly in the ear. I want it to be you happen to catch this awesome sunset and you run out the door and it's oh, this is super cool, right? I want that feeling, not the fly in the ear feeling. So all that to say, let's give people some grace when it comes to people getting back to each other. Cool? Are we cool? Let me just double check the chat to make sure we're good. We good? Yes. Okay, hold on one second. Sorry, Tom just came home and I was asking him about the Discord. Anyway, sorry. Okay, where was I? Okay, moving on. HJP updates. So, HJP, we have had more people join this server in the last 2 weeks than we have in the last 2 months. To me, that means that the message of Operation Rising Tide, the replays that we've had at the town halls, have really resonated. I think that I've said this before, but I want to remind everybody that for all of you to be here, you had to push through so many freaking filters of like, are you willingly going to watch a 2.5 hour PowerPoint presentation of someone talking about personal development and empowerment in a gaming channel? Like, talk about deterrent, right? Like, you're either really into that or you're like, where's the Final Fantasy? Where's the lore? Where's the raids? Whatever. So I just want to remind everybody that like everyone who is here, you had every opportunity to leave. Everyone who's here wants to be here, is connecting with this deeper vision. So I kind of just want to remind everybody as we are growing, change can be scary, but I'm excited, right? Like I'm so excited for everyone here. And the way that I kind of see this is like a program, okay? So Tom and I right now are doing a leadership program. It's a 10-month leadership program locally. We meet once a month, and it's a bunch of business leaders, some government officials, 2 YouTube creators. It's a very diverse group of community folks, and we get together to talk about kind of like the issues affecting our region. We just had a session on Friday where we talked about sustainability, transportation, energy, and water. How we live in the desert. How do we get water? Where does it come from? How do we manage it? Et cetera, et cetera. And the whole point is to foster local community leaders. I will tell you, we're probably 5 sessions into this program. I have developed more leadership skills through Heather Just Play than I have in this leadership program that we paid a lot of money for. And I know that that's translating over to you guys. And that's kind of how I see it. I see this as a program. And the reason why I'm framing it that way is because, as I mentioned, I do not expect everybody here to be besties. I don't expect everyone here to even be friends, right? Like, let's have the respect and treat each other with kindness and the rules and guidelines, et cetera, et cetera. But like, as we grow, it's like we might get to the point where you can't necessarily interact with every single person. But that doesn't mean that the opportunities can't still be available to every single person who signs up to be here, right? And just like a leadership program, I feel like, we have goals, we have things that people can experience that don't depend on how close you are with somebody, right? So I just wanted to make sure that kind of everyone was aware of that. There are things that are just zero tolerance, okay? If you look at our rules and guidelines, there are things that that are a line crossing. And if it's egregious behavior, we will act accordingly. But other than that, if you know that everyone wants to be here, if you know that you're not going to necessarily be friends with everyone, if you know that we are an incredibly diverse community, and I think that that is one of our strengths, right? We are diverse in every single way. If you even look at this picture right here, like, we're so incredibly diverse, just like Eorzea, right? But that's like us too, right? All ages, all walks of life, all different kinds of interests, neurodivergence, all these things. The majority of how we communicate is through text. Text is incredibly limiting. It is hard to read sarcasm. It's easy to misinterpret. Things can make you raise an eyebrow that you're like, did you really mean that? I was actually going to play you guys a Key and Peele sketch where they were texting back and forth, and it's like, it can come off passive aggressive to one person, and then to other person they're like, hey, what's over. So like, I know this, but I think just framing it, knowing that we are diverse, you don't have to be besties with everyone, and everyone's here for this bigger picture program mission thing. I hope that we can kind of, again, extend that grace. There's zero tolerance for egregious behavior. That is a non-negotiable. I think you guys understand that if you're here. But for the other things, right? If there's things that are like, again, sarcasm is hard to read. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I don't know. If you have any questions, right? If you have any concerns, please reach out to me or a mod or an officer or whatever. You are not bugging us. Like, we all signed up to do this, right? So you're not bugging us. It's not a bother. Don't talk yourself out of it. I'd rather know than not know. Okay. And I'd rather sort things out than not. Yeah. So I hope that you guys can understand where I'm coming from there. I will say that, like, overall vibe check with Heather Just Play has been incredible. I know you guys know that, which is why you're here, right? Like, it's just been it's been the best thing I've done in a really long time. I'm just so happy with it, and I'm so happy with all the connections that we're making, and it's just so exciting. So I don't mean to project like we're in trouble or anything. Like, that's not my intention. But I do, as more people come in, right? Like, somebody's day one could be today. We got so many people who came in the last 24 hours, right? So like, this is going to be their first impression. They're going to read things, they're going to see gifts, they're going to see text in all caps and all that. So just, again, a reminder that, like, we might have the people who have been here the last 4 months, like, we've gotten to know each other. So let's just kind of help the newbies, like, also integrate into Heather Just Play so that they can find their place. All right, cool. That's enough of that. So, let me go back here. Oh, oh, wow. My PlayStation actually did connect. Okay. So, next. What is going on? Okay. So, one of the big, huge improvements that we're making with, as a result of Operation Rising Tide, is we are evolving the leadership completely. I definitely want to shout out 8-Bit, Tanail, Avita, and Kayan for stepping up to help me build this thing, right? And to the mods too. I had no idea what this was. You guys didn't know what this was when you signed up to help me, right? You were just like, she needs help. She's asking for help. Cool. Like, I'm in. I didn't know, right? Now that we've kind of built the foundation, we've established a culture, we have Operation Rising Tide, I do feel like that we need new roles with more clear goals and things to kind of manage, right? So we're evolving the leadership, but I just want to give a special shout out to the OG4 that helped me to build this thing. Like, without them, there just wouldn't be this. Like, this entire moment right here wouldn't exist. Yeah, and like Pimpy also helping me to build the server. There would be no server. He reached out to me and was like, I will help you build this Discord. If it were up to me, that thing, I would have just put it off till tomorrow, because Discord and me have never gotten along. So I've never seen a successful story of Discord. It was never going to happen. So, yeah, I just want to shout them out. Thank you, guys. I just appreciate you so much. So, that being said, here's how we're going to evolve the leadership. We're going from 4 officers to 17 seats. All of these seats have at least 2 people in them, except for the captain, which is myself. So yeah, it's we're gonna get a lot more people on the team. There's gonna be a lot more people for you to reach out to. I'm just excited to have more voices as part of this whole thing. The one thing I do want to say off the bat is that this is not a hierarchy. Okay, just because someone's in a leadership position doesn't mean that they are above any member in any way. That goes for the leadership itself. You know, just because I'm the captain doesn't mean like I am above whatever the historian or whatever it is. Like, really, the whole goal with having leadership is, if we use the ship analogy, right? The way that I think it was happening was I was the captain and I was going around the ship like, okay, here's a leak, here's a thing that we need to fix. Oh, it would be really cool if we head in this direction. But it's just me, right? So I'm just going around, and then like as soon as I move on to the next thing, like this starts to like drop off, and then this starts to drop off. And then our awesome officers are like, Heather, what do you need? And they're trying to help, but it's like, in order for me to delegate, like that is a job in itself, right? Now with this new leadership, my vision is that there are multiple people covering all these things that I've identified as bases that need to be covered, right? And then that way the whole ship can like continuously go, right? So again, not a hierarchy. No one is above anybody. This is all voluntary. I'm not paying anybody to be here, right? It's purely recreation. We definitely want to keep it fun. But I am excited for everyone who stepped up. So this is for the duration of Operation Rising Tide. This goes to the end of March. From there, we will reevaluate. Okay, I'll take in all the feedback from the 6 weeks. I'll take in the feedback from the people who are in these seats, and we'll go from there. Whether you want to continue, whether we like, I don't know, dissolve some seats and create new ones. I don't know. So, you are not signing up for this like, you know, year-long thing. It's just to the end of March. These positions are voluntary, and we're figuring this out as we go. So what I'm going to be doing for the rest of this is kind of going through every single position, because I do think it's important for you to understand the thought and the intention behind why this position was created and what problems they would be addressing. But also, for everyone who are in these seats, I trust you, right? Like, we trust you. So there are goals for every seats, but however you want to carry out those goals is up to you, right? Like, I'm not here to micromanage you. I get it. I trust you, right? So I'm not going to tell you how to do your thing, but there's just goals and guidelines for why that position was created in the first place. Yeah, and like again, like for everybody here, member or leader or whatever, like let's be mindful that we're all figuring this out as we go. We're going to bump into problems. Okay, this is not going to be a smooth journey, but as I said before, I think that would be boring, right? But we can figure everything out. This whole thing is a team. Like, we are one team on this ship, okay? So even though there's leaders, even though there's captain, blah, 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 we're all one team, okay? Cool. I will share all of this as a Google Doc with you guys just so you have it for reference. I'll do that later. And then I have to still get into the Discord and make adjustments for each of the new seats and stuff like that. Didn't get a chance to do it today, but I will do it in the next 24 hours. All right, cool. So this part of the town hall is going to be text heavy. I'm going to try to go through it very quickly, but again, I do want to take the time to explain it all. Okay. Go get a snack. Go get a beverage. It's going to be text heavy. I wish I could make it more exciting, but I want to give this due process because so much of Heather Just Play has been community driven. Okay. The whole thing has been like, you guys have shown me that this is what is needed, or this is where the problem is. And so I just want to show you that I put a lot of thought into addressing these things so that we can go further. Yeah. So here's me. I'm just going to read very quickly. Okay. And then if you have any questions, Avi can just interrupt me and tell me if there's anything we need to address. We'll definitely do a Q&A after. All right, cool. Encourage personal growth, provide opportunities for members to challenge themselves, try something new, feel empowered, all of which translates to a feeling of leveling up in real life. Cultivate a safe and supportive environment. Ensure that HGP remains a positive, inclusive space where members can grow, make mistakes, and level up together. I think I said this before, but I know I consider it an honor that you guys are putting trust in me. Okay, and I will go to the moon to protect that trust. Okay, and this whole like safe and supportive environment, that's not like oh, that's a cute thing. No, I take it very seriously. Okay, so like I want to protect but also embrace and rise to the occasion kind of thing. Foster awe, wonder, and adventure, facilitate member driven events, initiatives, and experiences that bring a sense of joy, excitement, and camaraderie, support and guide the leadership, ensure that officers and event leaders in key roles have the tools and support they need to succeed, encourage participation and connection, promote events, discussions, and initiatives that bring people together, foster genuine connection, highlight and share magic with the world, actively talk about and showcase what's happening in Heather Just Played to inspire others and show that a positive, transformative community exists. So I think like this thing right here, this highlighting and sharing the magic with the world, the fact that we've had more people join HJP in the past 2 weeks, like since doing the town halls, since doing Operation Rising Tide, than in the last 2 months is this, right? And I think it's up to me to do this, right? So yeah, listen and adapt, gather feedback from members, identify ways to improve and refine our approach as we go. I think this is the last one. But that's my job. That's what these are my goals. Oh, and also to set our vision and direction. So one thing for this though is like I can't do this without you guys, right? Like there would be no HJP community without the community. So again, I appreciate your participation and your enthusiasm, but also feedback. Please reach out to me. I'm one tell away, one direct message away, one Discord message away. Even if it's just like, hey, what's up? That was fun. Cool. Hey, this concern, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Whatever it is, again, I would rather know than not know. All right, moving on. Our vice captains are Tanail and Avita. Woo! I'm so excited about this. I thought about the position of vice captains, especially just because I felt like it initially off face value kind of can kind of play into that hierarchy thing that I don't want it to be. But the reality is that there are going to be times where the captain is preoccupied, right? Like Tom and I are at a hockey game, whatever. I can't be like, there are going to be times where I just can't be here and I need people to kind of act as the captain. So I'm very proud to say that our vice captains are Tanail and Avita, and it really is, general operations, right? So supporting general operations, overseeing community events, systems, and events are running smoothly, facilitating leadership coordination, ensuring officers and event leads have the tools to succeed, track community engagement and needs, monitor participation trends, and provide insights to improve the community experience, cultivate community culture and well-being, ensure the overall atmosphere remains positive and aligned with our community values, ensure all members have a voice and opportunities, make sure that every community member feels heard, valued, and has a chance to participate, assist the captain, and step in when the captain is unavailable. So, yeah, if you, if I'm not here, feel free to reach out to Avi and Tin. They've just been, as I mentioned before, monumental in building what HGP, what it is. Blah, I cannot talk right now. I'm losing it. Hold on, give me a second. They've been monumental in building HJP to what it is today. So I'm very excited to be able to lean on them. All right, our next position. Yeah. Yeah. So Exactly. So Avi totally answered it. When we created officers in the first place, this was the extent of it. Okay, I was live. You may have been there, and I was like, "Oh, we're creating Kraken's Call. It says I need officers, right?" And then like that's it, right? That happened to eventually extend to HJP community. Most of the people who are here, you guys aren't in Kraken's Call, right? Like your mains are on another server. Uh, and I definitely don't want to pressure anybody to move. Like you don't have to move here. I know some of you guys, you're in your time zone servers and all those things. Um, so I will address some of this when we get to the Keeper of the Forge position, which I kind of foresee to be like a main FC officer in terms of permissions, but the vice captains will probably have full access to permissions. And then, so yeah, stay tuned for that. All right. So our timekeepers are 8-Bit and Veti, aka Hifumi. I'm so excited. Again, 8-Bit was huge in helping to build HJP to what it is, but also Veti was one of the OG HJP subscribers when I started 2 years ago. So talk about somebody who's witnessed the evolution of this entire journey. I'm very excited for them to be the timekeepers, which I talked about a little bit earlier. So when you guys are submitting your requests for events, these are the two people that you're going to go through. I'm sure they will be monitoring the Rising Tide ideas and events, so they'll be active in there, but these are the people who are going to be in charge of our Google calendars. All right. So manage the master event calendar. They're going to keep an updated and organized record of all community planned events, process event requests, review and approve event date and time submissions from members, prevent scheduling conflicts, ensure events are spaced out properly to maximize participation, communicate event schedules, regularly update the community on upcoming events, and manage RSVPs using Apollo Bot and Discord. Coordinate with event hosts, work with leaders and members to finalize event details and scheduling, and then ensure calendar visibility. The one piece that's missing here is, there are people who are part of the HJP community that are not in our Discord server. So that's just a piece that I'm kind of keeping in mind. I think what I'm going to do is like post the upcoming events for the week as a YouTube community post. But otherwise, as I mentioned, like I like for the whole community to trust 8-Bit and Veti with their decision making, especially when it comes to scheduling conflicts, right? So like just know that they are factoring in everything and making decisions, like let's trust them to do that. All right, cool. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for adding that. All right. So for our next two seats, we've got our navigators. Our navigators are event activation and support. Okay, so Mordak W, aka Airwill, and Arcana, aka Celestina, are going to be our navigators, and their whole the base that they'll be covering is helping an idea come to life. Okay, when it comes to Operation Rising Tide events. So if you have an idea for an event and you want to run it by someone, here are the two people that will help you, that you can bounce your idea off of, that can kind of help you identify like what you need to actually bring your idea to life. So I'm really excited about the navigators. I think they're going to be a key position in this whole entire thing. So helping develop event ideas, assist members in turning event ideas into structured, achievable plans, identifying and solving challenges, work with event hosts to ensure they have what they need, encourage community leadership, empower members to take ownership of their event ideas and lead them, provide event support, help with planning logistics, gathering materials, and troubleshooting any issues, ensure event follow through, make sure ideas don't stall and that events actually happen, and then to collaborate with the timekeepers to work together, schedule events smoothly, and maximize participation. So I'm so excited for you guys. I think this is going to be, just like the timekeepers, I think this is going to be a huge part of Operation Rising Tide. And I'm excited to have two dedicated people to, kind of, I think it was Fevra who had the question, like, if you are like boss fates, yes, like, how do I make this happen? Here are the two people that you can go to, and they can kind of direct you accordingly, right? So if you have any questions or you're not sure what the next step is, bam, right here. All right. And like I said, I will be doing the roles in Discord so that it's very clear who each person is that you need to reach out to for these things. And then, as I mentioned, a Google Doc, right? So I'll put it in the Rising Tide pin just so you know, like, who you're supposed to reach out to. But again, we work as a team, right? If you just put it in the Rising Tide chat or whatever chat channel, everyone will direct you accordingly. All right, next up, we've got our Keepers of the Forge. So as I mentioned, this position is going to be kind of like the original officer, right? The free company officer. These are going to be the Keepers of the Forge. And Jiro is one of our Keepers of the Forge, which I'm really excited about. And then we have a second position open. So the only requirement for this position is that you do have to be an actual member of Kraken's Call. Usually we don't have that requirement for anything. But for this, since you are going to be given permissions in the free company itself, you have to be a free company member, right? You have to be a member of Kraken's Call. So if you are in Kraken's Call and you want to help Jiro out with, free company resource management and, doing the company workshop and the garden and all of that, please let us know. So overseeing the free company workshop, managing the airship and submersible construction, maintenance upgrades, coordinating expeditions, managing the FC resources and treasury. So this is a really important one. One of the things that I want to do is just making sure that we have resources that we can give or donate, or like if we're doing prizes for something, we can give, we can use the gill to buy minions or something. I don't know, whatever, right? So being able to have someone in charge of just like the resources in general is important. Managing the FC garden, managing crafting and gathering efforts. So even though it is Kraken's Call, as you guys know, getting the house, do our fundraising streams and all that, it's to the whole HJP community. So if there's ever a need for, like, we need this, that, and the other for a submersible expedition, whatever, reach out to the entire HJP community, Kraken's Call or not, and like people will answer the call. Ensuring our buffs are active, and then encouraging participation, which I just mentioned, and then tracking and updating progress. Cool. So thanks, Jiro, for stepping up. And if you are interested in this position, please reach out to me or Jiro or one of the officers. All right, next up, our member mentors. And I'm so excited that we have Bon and Zero. Yay! So this was actually initially a new member mentor. So being the bridge for when we have new folks joining the HJP community, it can be insane to try to navigate our Discord channel or Discord server. And again, imagine if someone is just joining our server today. It's like, where do I even start? So that was the intention behind having member mentors. But it also occurred to me that like there are existing members that have no idea, that need help. So it's just member mentor. So goals are to welcome new members, greet new members, give tours of everything HJP has to offer and help them get started, ensure a smooth transition, guide new members to important resources, Discord channels, community rules, event schedules, etc. Some of you guys have brought people in and you are being the member mentor, right? Like Mosey just brought somebody in who's, I think, going to be joining a Sprout to Ultimate group. And so Mosey is kind of being that, transition hand-holding person. But there are people who are coming in through YouTube, right? Like they don't know anybody. And so Bond and Zero are going to be our go-to people. They're going to be the first people to kind of interact with the people who just sign up. Encourage participation, help members find events, roles, and activities that suit their interest, be a point of contact, answer questions, assist new players, and direct them to the right leaders for specific needs, promote engagement, check in with members, encourage conversations to help keep the community active, and then help to identify community needs, gather feedback from members, and share it with leadership to improve the membership experience. One of the things that's been on my to-do list forever is kind of doing a video tour of the Discord server. Gma, if you don't know who Gma is, she is like my hero because she's this 73-year-old gamer who plays Final Fantasy XIV. She joined Discord, but she needs to take the extra step to actually accept the invitation to our server. So, you know, I imagine her coming in here and it's like, where do I even start? So I wanted to try to like put together a welcome video to kind of go over the basics. Bond and Zero can, as new people come in and they identify the common questions that the new members have, they can direct me and give me feedback of like, here's what we need in Discord to make it a better transition for people to start participating, right? So, yay. All right, next up, our fellowship coordinators. We've got Kayan and Mosey. So, a shout out to Kayan again, who really actually was one of the original success stories that gave that kind of helped me come up with the Operation Rising Tide idea in the first place, since he is the one who coordinated our very first community event ever, which was our Maps Night. So Kayan and Mosey, they have both pushed themselves out of their comfort zone in many ways. Mosey doing the Sprout to Ultimate, which she has never done raiding before in this way. The way I would kind of describe this position is just vibe check. Obsessing, not obsessing, assessing community morale, right? Keep an eye on who's thriving and who might need encouragement to engage, identifying members who might feel disconnected, check in, bridge gaps, recommend ways for them to get involved, guide discussions and encourage organization, redirect off-topic conversations to appropriate channels, measuring the vibe, regularly reflect on the overall community energy and suggest adjustments to keep engagement strong, offer insight to leadership, share observations with members about member engagement and morale, and then help foster a welcoming atmosphere. I think especially with Mosey, she has shared several times that Final Fantasy XIV is her first video game ever, which is, I mean, what an introduction to this incredible media. But I think that very unique perspective in like learning this whole world is going to be really key, to figuring out where the holes are, how people are getting disconnected or whatever it is, right? So those are our fellowship coordinators. All right. And then we have our convocation, I spelled it right. Convocation of historians. The convocation of historians are going to be working very closely with me, again, to do the things like sharing the magic online. We've got 8-Bit, Cirilla, Vetti, and maybe one of you, because we have an open position. I definitely want to have at least one other person in here because I think that the success of the convocation of historians, I feel like we are in this specific position limited by how much manpower we have. So the more people that we can have in here, we could do social media. We could actually do the podcast. We could do more YouTube videos. We could have a blog on a website. We can do all these things. It's hard for one person to do all that, right? So the convocation of historians can meet and kind of figure out what do we want to prioritize for the remainder of Operation Rising Tide. And, we don't have to do all those things right now. We could save the podcast for quarter 2. But so their goals are to gather event highlights, work with event hosts to collect screenshots, videos, and memorable moments, encourage community reflections, prompt attendees to share their experience and personal takeaways from events, create and share recaps, post event summaries and highlights so the community can relive the moments, maintain a digital archive, organize and store event photos, quotes, and stories for future reference, celebrate the community, highlight special achievements, funny moments, and impactful stories, find ways to share stories online, showcase our adventures through Discord, social media, websites, podcast, or videos. I did create our Instagram just in case. I just want to snag the handle. But I can't express like all the seats are very important. But for this one, what I'm hoping to do in introducing this new leadership is that now that there are, other people who are in charge of making sure the bases are covered, this is kind of where I anticipate more of my time to be, and then also playing the actual game because I haven't had a chance to play in a while. Because I've been working on this. But as I've said, a lot of people have come to HJP because of the town hall videos and because of my most recent video, right? Talking about this magic, talking about how Final Fantasy XIV has had a positive impact on our life, right? Like a meaningful positive impact that translates to other relationships that you have, chances that you take in your personal life, all these things, right? But like, in order to be able to share that magic, I need the stuff, right? I need I need to hear it from your words, right? So I did create that thread that says, need your help. I want to, I can say and scream to the mountains how special HGP is all day, but it means something totally different hearing it from your own words, right? So I will say I never want to like, I don't know, screenshot your comment and put it on YouTube without your permission. But I would hope that from this moment forward, you're kind of giving me permission to do that in the spirit of sharing the magic that's happening here, right? So if you're absolutely not okay with with me doing that, let me know. Don't respond to the threads, right? Like, don't post your screenshots anywhere. But for everybody else, like, I hope you're cool with me using it as a material to kind of share the magic that's happening here. I'm not even kidding. I said this in my most recent video. My goal is to get on their radar. I don't know what we're going to do, what's going to happen, but I'm keeping an eye out for someone on the content creator side over at Square Enix just to, start a conversation. I have connected with some other 14 creators actually through the most random ways. I was on a panel with someone who is actually, I can't even remember his name, but he was like an MC for some official 14 streaming events. So whatever. That's a secret goal of mine that I'll tell you guys about. But so I'm really excited about this. And if you are interested in filling this other seat, please let me know and reach out to these historians or another officer or whatever. For any of these open positions, if you asking a question doesn't mean you're committing. So if you're still just like, I want to figure out what is exactly expected of me, cool, let's talk it out before you actually decide. And then, of course, we have our Discord and YouTube mods. So I definitely want to shout out our Discord YouTube mods. They have been the mods since the beginning. So again, have been like absolutely instrumental in me building this thing, helping me to figure out other jobs. Have been tough, guys. Like, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes. And even just an outlet for me to kind of just navigate all of this, right? So I definitely want to give a special shout out to Pimpy Persant, Avita, Bon, and Eddie for stepping into being a mod. But if you want to know what they do, here you go. Enforce the code, ensure all crew members follow community rules on Discord and YouTube, maintain order, handle disputes, moderate discussions, prevent disruptions, keep the waters clear, remove inappropriate content, warn offenders, take action if necessary, monitor and report, keep leadership informed of any major issues or concerns, and then, of course, foster a positive atmosphere, maintain a fun, welcoming, respectful environment where all members feel safe to participate. Woo! That is our new leadership. So I just want to give a shout out and round of applause for everyone who has filled the seats. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. I'm excited that the team is growing. Aw, thank you, Ted. I appreciate that. um, yeah, you guys. What's up? Okay. You guys make it easy. I told Tom, um, I keep telling him, like, if you give people a chance to go, they'll go. You guys are going. When I see someone's like willingness to contribute and participate, why would I walk away from that? It's like really exciting to kind of encourage that and foster that. And you guys keep responding, and so I'm gonna keep going. Um, yeah, it's just so exciting. I'm so insanely excited about this whole thing. I think it's really resonating in a way that I hoped, but honestly didn't have the data, right? Like, could be someone could say it's blind optimism, right? But the fact that you guys are here, there's more people we've ever had at a town hall ever, and all I did was read a presentation for like an hour, and you guys are all still here. So, um, yeah, I mean, I think that means a lot. I think that means something, and I take that all to heart. So, thank you guys. Um, I'm really excited for this new leadership. I think it's I don't know, I think it really will take HJP to the next level. I hope you guys can feel that excitement, but also, right, the reason why I took all the time to explain that again is uh to show the thought behind all of this, to show that this is community driven, right? So if you're like, hey, here's like a gap, right? Here's something that's missing. Let me know. Tell me, like, what am I missing, right? Like, should we create a different, two seats that address this issue? Uh Whether you're a leader or not, like, even if you're a member, your feedback is important. I need to know because I'm in a different position than you are, right? So that's why I took all that time to kind of explain that. And to all of the new HJP officers, right? We're evolving from Kraken's Call offers to HJP officers. So to all of you HJP officers, thank you for uh for you know stepping up, answering the call. I'm so excited to see what you guys do. It's really exciting to feel like, I'm not alone doing this. And I'm just really looking forward to how you guys carry out your seats, right? So, that being said, I'm going to pause here. We have one more thing on the agenda, but I'm going to pause here and just check in. Questions, feedback, concerns, things in the chat that I haven't been reading. If there's anything we want to address now. What's up? Yeah, what's up? Uh-huh. Thank you, Arcana, for explaining that. That goes for everybody, right? That goes back to what I said in the beginning of, like, I, as Heather of Heather Just Play, I don't have Discord notifications on. I just, but that doesn't mean I don't check every 5 minutes. But it's just, if I don't do that, I don't expect you guys to do that either. This is recreation first. This is fun first. So let's give everyone grace when it comes to responding, but also know that everyone who's here wants to be here, wants to help, right? So feel free to reach out, and then especially to our new leadership, uh, they all took the time to like think about whether they wanted to accept the position, right? So like them being in that position is a willingness to help and everything that comes with it, right? So feel free to reach out. I don't think that's I think I can speak for them when I say you can feel free to reach out to anybody who's in the new leadership. I do have to go in and I have to create a new channel for the new leadership, and you know, I still have to like actually make this a thing in Discord, but I will do that soon. Any other questions? Feedback, comments, anything? Yes. Oh man. Cool. Thank you, Mosey, for kind of sharing that. Um, Mark said this in this Route to Ultimate Legend. I think it just goes for everybody. Uh, Real life, first and foremost, you do not have to explain yourself, right? We'll be thinking of you, Mosey. But yeah, like you don't have to explain yourself. And I just hope that we all again give that grace of like, because this is recreation, like it's gonna be the first thing to go, and that is okay. It's also the first thing that's gonna go for me. Uh, that doesn't mean it's all gonna fall apart. Like I just want to emphasize, like this isn't gonna be smooth sailing, but I think that adds to the adventure. There's nothing that we can't figure out. Look at all the people who are here. Like if you have to step away, somebody will help. It's totally okay, you know. So, um, I say that to like one, let's give each other grace, but also, uh, for members to know that like we all want to help, if that makes sense. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of just repeating myself, but yeah. If you guys hear a weird sound, it's because Finley is chewing a bone right here, and I can't do anything about that. Sorry. Okay, go. Anybody else want to chime in? Yeah. Yeah, and I think like I feel like everyone here understands that, right? Because we know that us being here is more than just the game, right? There's other 14 servers that are just like solely game focused, right? But if I'm talking about magic and empowerment and stuff, like obviously I care about you as a person, right? Like we all care about each other as people. So on that same token, if you need to step away, if you need a deal, like yeah, totally. And you don't have to explain yourself. If you want to, cool, but you don't have to. Any other uh anything? Yes. So this is up to you guys as event leaders. I don't care, right? So it's up to you. Like obviously Sprout to Ultimate Legend is probably going to be voiced, but the fishing one wasn't, right? So as event leaders, as host of your idea, you decide whether you want to add that component or not. And if you look at our Discord, we now have 4 channels for voice. So we can have multiple things going on if we needed. But the point is that the option is there. It's just a matter of you clarifying it so that um, the timekeepers, 8-bit and Veti, are gonna have a form, not a form, but like questions that you need to answer that they will put into when they set up the event in Google Calendar. So that includes like any prerequisites that people would need to unlock in game to be able to participate in a raid or something like that, or uh, are you going to have voice chat for this? Is it required? Is it optional or not? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And I see some of you guys talk about how like speaking in voice chat makes you nervous. I same. I know it might look like I got all this on lock. Totally not. I'll tell you the first time that the Kraken's call officers and I had a meeting, right? It was Avi10, 8-bit, and K. And I was sweating like crazy. My voice was shaking, like shortness of breath. I had the whole fight or flight thing, my cotton mouth. I can hear like my mouth like so dry. So, when I say that this group has helped me to develop leadership skills, I'm not kidding, right? Like I've 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 gotten the practice in the past 4 months through this thing. So now that it's, I'm not as nervous, or I'm still as nervous, but I can control the physical symptoms better because I've had that experience under my belt, right? So yeah, it's not just you, I guess was my point. Rising tide. There you go. Exactly. Anyone else? Okay. Yeah, Vedi, go ahead. Yes. We did have somebody from Berlin join today. So, yeah, I anticipate um I feel like time zone has been a deterrent for people like on YouTube. I've gotten the comment of like, "Oh, I'm not in that, I'm in EU server or whatever." Uh that was a common comment that I was getting. Now I'm seeing more people from those time zones joining. So clearly, like, again, if you want to do morning coffee, in terms of like American morning coffee time, whatever you like, I feel like there are people. A lot of us also have flexible schedules, so um, yeah, just keeping all that in mind when we're scheduling events. I know there's the prime time for Final Fantasy, but like if you have the inkling to try to schedule something in a completely 10 a.m. Pacific, try it. I'll be there. Cool. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do right now. We're gonna do the last thing on the agenda, which was and then Tin, now that you're here also, let me just give you another shout out again. Hold on, let me switch to my thing. Boom. Okay. Boom. I just want to shout out again Tin for this amazing cover photo. Thank you, my dear. Thank you for just coordinating that and spending hours in Photoshop making that happen, doing your magic, and just like, this is the coolest. I'm going to get this printed. I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm going to put it like right. Yeah, right? Like, how cool is Yay. I know it's so it's so freaking good. So thank you, Tin. And let's see. So how I wanted to wrap up the town hall was to kind of just highlight the events that we've had so far. They've been absolutely incredible. But I did want to invite people to kind of share their experiences because I think this is part of the magic, right? So I'm gonna turn it over to Avi, and Avi, I will pull up the journal. But feel free to direct as you see fit. Where is- For sure. I think it was this, right? Yeah, some words about this event. So Tom, it like this is Tom's like thing that he really wants to do. He's waiting for the next thing. It's just like always he always has like hockey at the same time. But I anticipate Yeah. Well, the thing I'll say about RP is I anticipate this to be almost like raiding, where it's it's kind of a thing in the game that you've heard of, but unless you have the invitation to try, it might be something that you never like go out of your way to experience, right? And it's so great that we have this community where you could at least try. Like you might be something you don't like, but when I went to the first RP event, oh my god, I was mind blown with like just the creativity and really experiencing Final Fantasy 14 in a completely different way. It was like 1 hour long, that's it, but I was just like I can see why this is such a thing that people get into, right? Um and so yeah, I'm excited. I feel like this is going to be a big part of the community. I definitely can see it being a big part. Um so yeah, thank you, Fevra and Tin, for putting this on and for your future events to come. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yes, we were. Sorry, Lucy. Yeah. And then leave. Yeah. Hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's great. Look at how many are here. It's so crazy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Oh, I missed that one. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Let me tell you, I think 600 levels that we all leveled up collectively. I know it's Blue Mage, so it's, accelerated, but I'll tell you, Blue Mage was never going to be something that I bothered with, just because, like, in RPGs in general, it's the one that I'm like, it's hard, right? but doing it with friends makes it fun. So, um, I had it unlocked. I think some of us just had it unlocked, but we hadn't done anything with it. And by the end, I level 60. I think everyone is at least level 60 who was there. And then we all had a zero, just watched everybody self destruct in our fire pit in front of our house. So this is how the night ended. But it was super fun. It was really cool. And shout out to Kay for organizing. Huh? Yes. Yeah, definitely. I can see how Blue Mage events, like specifically, like once everyone has spells, you can do challenges like, I don't know, go through duties with just blue mages, right? Like, I could see how it's like super fun. So, and if you ever need, like, we can do any of these events again. So if you missed this one, we can do it again. No worries. This is ridiculous. Oh, 62 riddles, guys. 62 riddles. Yeah, I will. No, go ahead. No, sorry. Yeah, the thing I wanted to say here with the sightseeing log is, you know, Maple's creativity made it fun regardless if you had done the sightseeing logs or not. We had people who had done every single one, but you put a completely fresh take on it. And honestly, that whole thing that I was talking to Tom of, like, if you give people a chance to go, they'll go. That was about you. That was about this event. I was like, no one told you to do that. No one told you to do that. And it's just like, I'm seriously thinking about making a video of like the funnest way to do sightseeing logs, because it was just so much fun. And it's a perfect example, like Avi said, of um, just putting a different spin, a different experience to Final Fantasy 14. So thank you, Maple, for doing this. Thank you. It's wildly successful. Yeah, I will say, Tom, while he was fishing, like while the event was going, we were on the ocean fishing boat. He was like, "Oh, see, I know what this skill does because of your explanations." So, and this was all done through text chat, so for you to type all that out, like, and like it actually worked to be in the mess hall, like you at the podium. I was like, wow, this is like the craziest immersive experience where like we're actually, it felt like we were in like a lecture, and it was so informational, so helpful, and then being able to like apply the thing that we learned, it's just cool. It was so cool. So thank you. Sweet, thank you. So, though that was our initial, that was week one, guy. That's week one of Operation Rising Tide. I am conscious. Yeah. Okay. So I'm conscious that this is like a not necessarily sustainable pace that we're going at. That's why we've got the 6 week thing. I, I I'm very conscious that a lot of us are spending a lot of time together, which means you're not doing other things. Uh, but you know, just hearing how these initial events have gone, I think you guys can understand what the vision is here, right? Are you kidding me? Like, are you telling me that all of this doesn't translate to real life progress? Does it translate to feeling empowered in your real lives, right? Like doing other things not in game. Teamwork, camaraderie, problem solving, creativity. Like you're all doing it, right? And it's just so cool. It's just I can't even explain. I can't explain like it's working. You guys are doing it. I can't believe it. I know. I'm trying. I don't want to cry. Um, but I just yeah. I'll get better at expressing myself. I'm just so freaking thrilled. I'm so excited, and just seeing the attendance increasing, new people join our thing here. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. So thank you. Yeah. 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 Yes, and thank you for doing that. And shout out to our incredible new slate of our 17 seats of leadership. I'm very excited for you guys. Thank you for, stepping up, answering the call, and just gratitude all around to everybody here. So thank you guys. I apologize. I won't be able to include the Discord voice chat in the replay, but I will be posting this on YouTube. And I think that's it. So thanks, guys, for another successful town hall. I feel like we're just going to continue to do these regularly. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to stay for another 5 minutes in case you guys have questions. But if you guys have to, I know the raid group has to go, so feel free. But I'll stay for 5 more minutes if anyone has any like questions, comments, anything. I could just watch you guys. Oh, see? There you go. Thank you. I would have totally forgotten. My bad, Mom. Yeah, it go ahead. Also, Mordak, Arowell, and Arcana Celestina, right? Are our new navigators. So it is literally like the seat they have volunteered to step into to help you bring your idea to life. So if you are like just you could reach out to them right now. That's their whole thing, and they will help you. Okay, they can ask you the right questions and kind of help you massage your idea until it's ready to be added onto the board. But yeah, people want to help. And I will say, just to you know, just to share this personally, um, this goes both ways, right? Like I haven't had coworkers since I was 30, right? Since I quit my job to do YouTube. I'm turning 40 this year. So it has been an incredible empowering learning experience for me as well. But I'm vibing off of your guys' energy. Like if obviously if it was just the wall, I'd have nothing. But you guys, it's your enthusiasm, it's your willingness, it's your it's you taking a chance, right? And that's like I feed off of that. Um, so we're all like I'm here too, learning, growing, progressing. And it's just such a I don't know, it's just such an exciting thing. One thing I did want to say is like, the reason why I call this magic, I'm gonna try not to cry. Is like this could have all not happened. Sorry, I really tried. But like, I almost quit YouTube so many times. Like I quit Final Fantasy. Like by all statistical accounts, this moment should not exist. And that's just me. Like all of the miracle, serendipitous coincidences that had to happen for you guys to be here right now. It's like against all odds, this shouldn't be happening, but it is. And I just think that's so special. So sorry. Gosh. Ooh, okay. It doesn't take much. You guys are just awesome. Anyway, anyone have logistical questions they want to ask? All yours. No, you're good. We can hear you. Thanks for chiming in, Fev. I appreciate it. And yes, huge supporter on the YouTube channel. And as I mentioned before, I think that as adults, as 40-year-old adults, this is missing, right? Like it's not easy to find these kinds of opportunities. I'm paying for a leadership program, not getting this. Definitely not having as much fun. Uh and I think it's really special that like yes, Final Fantasy 14 is bringing us together, but it's just so much just so much more meaningful, that goes beyond the game. So so thanks. Anyone else want to chime in? I'm sorry, I'm cutting into raid time, guys. Oh my, oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you, mate. I mean, you're a perfect example. You, like you said, you came in like a week and a half ago and just completely hit the ground running. So, um, oh, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. I can't even say anything. Oh man. Thank you, Mosey, for everything, for being here, for sharing that, for helping me learn White Mage. Yeah, maybe I should put a disclaimer to bring tissues at the next town hall. It's not my intention to make everybody cry. But I do, I hope you guys see just like how genuine everyone is here. And I agree with you, Maple, of like this third place is hard to find as an adult. I think that's why I'm creating it. Um but then also, even if you wanted to take a risk to find that third place online, my god, it's a swamp to navigate, right? It's it's toxic, it's charged. Everyone's, everything, every time you say something, it's a declaration of a belief or something, and it's like, I think that's why I love that we are so diverse. I think we are diverse in so many ways. I think so many people here uh are on all, you know, different. I feel like everyone here has differing beliefs, but obviously we can unite, right? Like obviously we can respect each other. We can learn from each other, and um I haven't seen this anywhere else. That's why I'm here, right? And that's why I believe in it so much. I just think, especially in 2025, uh, there's so much negativity, and we're America's in the transition right now, and everyone is stressed. It's just a hard time for everybody, and so if this place can kind of serve as a Christarium, um, hell yeah, Oh goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't take it for granted that like it just I've had this channel. I started it 2 years ago. We didn't have this, right? Like it was so many things that were not me that made it come to be. And that you are a huge part of that. So I totally understand that, uh a lot of you guys are here because of my channel, but there just wouldn't be this community without every single one of you guys, every single person who isn't here that's part of the community. But I have so much evidence. We have so much evidence that we are building something that is worthwhile, and it's so cool that whenever the call goes out, you guys answer it, right? And we're growing. People want to be a part of it. It's just really exciting. So, how very glib. I'm really sad they took that line out. Anyone else want to chime in on anything? Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I feel like Tin must be AFK. There's no way she'd let that go unanswered. Oh man. Okay. So, okay, so I think we'll wrap it up. The replay will go on YouTube. Sorry I couldn't include the Discord voice chat, but I think you guys I think some of you guys will probably be seeing that as a good thing. But I just appreciate everyone who chimed in. Even if you just chimed in the text chat, I will read it after this. If you missed the beginning, I will try to do a recap in our Rising Tide pinned, but we did, we are putting improvements in place to kind of just give more opportunities for people to lead or share their event ideas and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm always open to feedback. We'll do these town meetings regularly. If there's anything else, feel free to reach out to me for anything. And just thank you. So we good? Oh, I didn't realize I was doing like emotes in game. I didn't know it did that. All right, guys. So thanks again. I'll go ahead and conclude the meeting, and you guys are all awesome, and I'll see you at the next event. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.